much money, it's gotten too extreme.
Yeah!
We're taxed enough already. Now let me hear you scream. Can you hear us now?
We're Tea Party Express. We're rocking through your town with a Tea Party Express. And we are getting down with the issues. Shouting them out loud with the people we are speaking. Hey, can you hear us now?
Let me see your hand.
We're the Tea Party Express. We're rocking through your town with the Tea Party Express. And we are getting down with the issues. Shouting them out loud, we the people we are speaking. Hey, can you hear us? Can you hear us? Can you hear us now?
Can you hear us now?
Socialist agendas they wanted to sign so the people combined said let's have a tea party. Your neighbors and your friends, a mob? Hardly. What happened is a sleeping giant chose to wake up. Have you ever heard 2 million people shouting enough? The walls of the Congress and Senate are shaking. This is the result when you awake a free nation. That's a tea party. That's the Tea Party. The only solution, our only foundation should be our Constitution. That's the Tea Party. Promotes free market. Yes, that's the Tea Party. Limited government. The only solution, our only foundation should be our Constitution. So the WTP chose to hit the streets. That's the Waco Tea Party. They activated me, grassroots. That means from the bottom to the top. Started hitting the communities. Pledge to never stop. We point out the waste. Don't let us see you lie. We're turning out the votes that your money can't buy. We turned interstates into a campaign revolution. Now every mile marker seen the Constitution. Tea Party's here, Tea Party's there. The Tea Party movement got them running scared. They know that their lies cannot penetrate the truth. It's 2010, we gon' prove it at the booth. We don't care if you're a D, we don't care if you're an R. If your votes don't stand for the stripes and the stars, let liberty prevail. To this I dedicate my life. I'm standing up for freedom for my babies and my wife. Yes, that's the Tea Party. The only solution, our only foundation should be our Constitution. You're gonna love this third verse. I wrote this song so they all can quit guessing. We are the people, American blood. We won't let a name be drugged through the mud. We fly the flag high, let not the movement die. We won't grow weary, we won't be shy. Fiscally responsible, that's the Tea Party. Promotes free market, yes, that's the Tea Party. The only solution, our only foundation should be our Constitution. Fiscally responsible, that's a Tea Party. Promotes free market, yes, that's a Tea Party. Limited government's the only solution, our only foundation should be our Constitution.
Western and gospel myself, but damn, I like that song. You know, there's a lot of leaders out there that love to quote great men. And I got a quote for you. Well done is better than well said. You'll never hear them say that. You know, they always like to quote great men, but another one you won't hear. Thomas Jefferson said it was immoral, I have you know, to pass on our debt to our future generations. Immoral. You know, the same people will say it's immoral, but they'll abort babies. You know, they'll put us trillions of dollars in debt. You know, it's just absolutely nuts what they will sit there and say, but do. You catch me on that? Say, but do. Actions, not words. That's what it comes down to. That's why we're out here right now. That's why we have this voice that we have right now. That's why we're getting the power that we have right now, because that's what our founding fathers intended. They intended for you to be in charge, not them. They have forgotten it. They are supposed to be public servants. Now, these same people that want to take the high moral ground as far as not aborting babies will treat terrorists and coddle terrorists that want to kill us. And they say it's immoral to torture them. You know what? Line up every damn last terrorist, I'll torture my damn self. But I'm not just talking. Now, you got to remember, in the military, that's someone's mom and dad. That's someone's son, daughter, cousin, brother, sister. I mean, they are Americans. And for our leaders to sit there and treat terrorists better than they do our own Americans is wrong. And I hope you send that message today to John McCain. Because, quite frankly, he wants to legalize illegal immigrants.
That's for sure.
I am not politically castrated. New word for political correctness, by the way. I am not politically castrated. Put a fence in, start shooting. End of story. That's how you take care of it. I find it absurd. I became famous for doing my job as an American. Think about it for a second. I asked a politician a question. I asked him why he think it was all right. I was about to realize my American dream, and sure, it made up towards $250 or so like that. But for a small business, that ain't a lot of money. I'll have you know right now. But for a small business, he wanted to penalize me by adding taxes an extra 3%. That's just wrong. That keeps people from working hard to attain their American dream. We don't breed mediocrity in this country. We breed exceptionalism. Listen, it's not right. It's not easy doing what's right. I tell my son that all the time. It is not easy doing what's right. But America was built on doing what's right. We got a long line of people willing to work hard for a living. And we expect our government to get out of our way. That's what it comes down to. So, there's a couple things out there real quick. Oregon, I go to Texas, I go everywhere. You know why I have a stake in what goes on here? Because, it is the United States, absolutely, but unfortunately, your senators and congressmen, they propose laws that will affect me in Ohio. Because they're no longer representing Arizona to Washington, they represent Washington to you. That's not the way it's supposed to work. They're supposed to be public servants representing their constituents, which means you guys. So when you have people like Barbara Boxer who embraces raising children according to the UN, I'm a dad. I know how to raise my son. I don't need the UN guidelines to tell me what to do and how to be a parent. And we do not need leaders to embrace the UN to teach you guys how to be parents. All right? We don't need that kind of leadership there. They're supposed to be protecting us in our interests, not the world interests. Let's talk about political castration some more, because we got to stop it. You got to speak your mind as Americans. I don't know how many people came up to me and said, "Hey, Joe, you asked a great question, but I'll never do it. Look what happened to you." That is the wrong answer. Ask those questions all the time. Don't worry about what mainstream media says. Don't even think about it. Don't worry about what your neighbor said. But you got to have the respect of your family and friends. The rest of the world can go to hell. All right?